GOP pollster, Clinton would win if election held today. Follow CBS AM by com. Vertical line Cleveland CBS Miami/NSF Florida Republicans gathering in Cleveland for their party's convention heard a message that was not music to their ears. The candidate they will officially nominate would lose the election right now. The first thing is, if the election were held today, Hillary Clinton wins, said Republican pollster Frank Luntz, who spoke Monday morning to a Florida GOP delegates' breakfast near Cleveland. Florida's 99 delegates plus alternates, invited guests, and party leaders are in Cleveland for the convention. Republican delegates from across the country will formally vote later this week to nominate real estate mogul Donald Trump, whose blunt style has worried some members of his party and prompted some high-profile GOP figures to stay away. Former Florida Governor Jeb Bush and both of the surviving Republican presidents will skip Cleveland. At the breakfast Monday, Luntz said Florida and its 29 electoral votes would be pivotal in the 2016 contest. "You can't tell by our delegation that we are diverse. Our delegation is a microcosm of Florida. And Florida is a microcosm of the United States. It's going to be important that we reach out to everyone," said State Representative Blaise Ingridley, chairman of the Florida Republican Party. "It's a mix of business and pleasure but not exactly a vacation for those representing Florida voters. It's a big sacrifice to be here. I'm pretty sure most people had summer plans. They might not choose to be in Cleveland when there are 50,000 people visiting, but our country is at a crossroad right now," said State Representative Jose Felix Diaz, an alternate delegate from South Florida. While President Barack Obama would not have lost re-election in 2012 if Mitt Romney had carried Florida, it is extremely difficult for a Republican to gather the 270 electoral votes needed to win the presidency without the state. "Your state is going to determine who wins and who loses this campaign," said Luntz, who made his first stop of the convention at the Florida breakfast. "You in this room are going to determine, and you have the power to make a difference in the future of the country." The areas where Luntz said Republicans should focus this year would be familiar to anyone who has followed the party's attempt to rebuild itself in the Obama era. "The GOP must do better with younger voters and Latinos," Luntz said. Republican worries about Trump, who has promised to build a wall on the nation's border with Mexico to block illegal immigration, have often centered on whether he can make headway among Latinos. Ingridley said the state GOP is working to bolster its technology and social media efforts, where Ingridley has conceded the Democrats have held an edge in past elections. "But they're not going to have those advantages now," Ingridley said. And Republican leaders optimistic that Trump can help down ballot candidates in parts of the state, at least. "If you look at the I-4 corridor, I think Donald Trump right now is a boost," said incoming House Speaker Richard Corcoran, Orlando Lakes. "If you look at Miami-Dade, it's more difficult. So U.S. Senator Marco Rubio coming back on the ticket was huge for Florida. But there are also signs that the rift in the Republican Party opened up by the heated primary leading to Trump's nomination has not completely healed." In addition to Bush being absent, Rubio has chosen to campaign in Florida this week and address the convention by video. Two delegates, once congressional opponents in Central Florida, are presenting the United Front for Trump. "It's important that we show unity to show that people of color support the conservative values, family, faith, and freedom," said Florida Delegate Tulo. "I think naturally young people are going to be attracted to Donald Trump. You have a man here who is very successful, who speaks about the issues that we care about," said Kevin J. Cooper, an alternate delegate from South Florida. Despite the rift, Inglio said he believed the Never Trump movement launched by some Republicans has fizzled out, and that he supported Rubio's decision to spend the week on the stump. He also said delegates wouldn't be disappointed by the absence of two of Florida's highest-profile Republicans. "I think that they're just concentrating on the convention. They're concentrating on the message, and they're concentrating on making sure that the party remains unified and continues to solidify and continues to grow and the message gets out for the election," Inglio said. A few blocks from the Quicken Loans Arena, protesters shared their anti-Trump message. "He wants to build a wall and keep out people on their own land. He spews hate. If more people stop paying attention to him and people like him, we'd be in a better place," said anti-Trump activist Imani Henry. Trump's chief Florida strategist Karen Giorno knows exactly what's at stake in the Sunshine State. Florida is the largest swing state in the nation. How goes Florida goes the election. Any presidential nominee who has not won Florida has not won the presidency, said Giorno. To read more about campaign 2016, the news service of Florida's Brandon Larrabee contributed to this report.